I'm James Sims with BroadwayWorld.com. New York comes to Hollywood. Hairspray is the new big feature. It's going to be a summer blockbuster, and they're hoping for a big splash just like Chicago. The big story of the night, Nikki Blonsky. She's a huge star. This is her first movie. She's going to be big. So check it out. John Travolta, Michelle Pfeiffer, Christopher Walken. It's a huge cast, huge movie here in Hollywood. I'm James Sims. It's BroadwayWorld.com.
And I'm late. So if every night you're singing and you lie in bed. That was our very own Link Larkin.
And I'm Motormouth Maybelle, pitching rhythm your way.
Dancing on that show is my dream.
Adam, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
So now tell me, Hairspray.
Yeah.
How did you get involved with it?
Well, I saw the movie in 1988 when it came out, and that was the same year that I met Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman in a very strange way. Mark was doing Harlem Nocturne off Broadway, playing piano. And many years later, lots of friendship. I was actually at their beach house in the summer after it had become wildly successful doing movies. And he told me he had been asked to do the movie and played me some demos of the show, of the Broadway show. And that it was happening, and I was seething with jealousy because I wanted so much to be a part of it, and there was just no place for me. And then when the movie came up, the scheduling gods kind of intervened, and Jack O'Brien and Jerry Mitchell became unavailable for when they wanted to do the movie. So I was kind of standing in front of the train, and I guess it's because I'm one of the few choreographers who directs.
That's my next question. How is it? Do you find it beneficial to choreograph and direct your own piece?
Oh, absolutely! Oh my God, absolutely! While I'm choreographing, I'm picturing how I'm going to shoot it. So it made everything much easier. Actually, it wasn't much harder. It was much easier. I didn't have to answer to anybody but myself.
And how was it working with Nikki? Because obviously, first movie.
Nikki basically was born on a soundstage. The thing about Nikki is she is Tracy. So she didn't have to act like Tracy. She's a 17-year-old, beautiful, energetic, plus-size girl with major chops from a working-class family. Playing that same thing. So I would just say to her, just put the wig on and go out there and listen and behave.
And how important was it for you to sort of take away something from the Broadway show but yet give it your own spin?
Well, I feel like what I did, I hope that other people agree, is that I would really honor the John Waters movie and the Broadway show because I know they both have such huge fan bases, and I didn't want to upset anybody because it's kind of a not broken wheel. But what I did with the Broadway musical is I just made some of the story stuff work in a more cinematic way. That's all.
Do you sort of feel like there's a resurgence of musicals in Hollywood?
There seems to be right now. Sweeney Todd's getting made and Mamma Mia, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed because this better not be my last one.
Is there one that you would really love to do?
Yeah, Damn Yankees. I want to do Damn Yankees with like Will Smith or something. That'd be awesome.
It's such a great film just because of the message of it, and it's not like beating anybody over the head. It's so great. You have John Travolta, and all the way down to Nikki Blonsky. There's like a cast that gets every respective demographic there is, and I think that's a great aspect of the movie as well.
Well, now, what is that message that you're hoping people take away from the film?
I hope they just take away, just love people and respect people just because of who they are, and we could get along a lot better. We could do better as a people, as a world, as a race, as a human race.
And how experienced were you with dancing, singing before this movie?
Well, I've been singing in church since I was like 3 years old, but dancing, I always groove, but I would never consider myself a professional dancer. This was one time they had to pull it out of me.
Now tell me, how did you get involved with this? Were you singing and dancing before you did this movie?
Yes, I've been singing since I could talk. And then after a while I started the dancing and then the acting. So I just started singing, then dancing, then acting.
Now, how was it working with John Travolta? I mean, obviously a little crazy, right?
Yeah, it was. I've seen Grease a million times. So, and then I listened to the Grease soundtrack like on my iPod every single time. And then, you know, I got to dance and sing with him, so it was really fun. It was amazing.
Are you a fan of Broadway? Do you ever go to New York to see shows?
I've only been to New York like once for a Lion King audition, but my feet were hurting, but that was okay though.
So you haven't seen Hairspray?
No, I've seen the movie, but I'm gonna have to go in and see the Hairspray Broadway play because everybody's been asking me.
Yes, I know that the world's spinning fast now. I know the ready to step aside. Come on, I'm working in the 60s. Oh, 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 oh. So hi, Broadway World.
So now tell me, with Hairspray, what did you seek to do different from Broadway with the music to the film? How did you sort of approach that?
Just wanted to elevate it wherever it could be elevated and keep it just as it was, you know. But, you know, as an arranger and orchestrator, I had my own fantasies about what it would sound like if we ever did a movie. Or even, you know, on Broadway, there's a certain amount of musicians in the pit, and they have to play the whole show in one sitting, so they're embouchure, it's called. You have to consider that. But in a movie, you know, you're recording weeks apart. Every single song can be your ultimate version. And I got to do that.
Well, now, are there any songs that didn't make the movie? Because I know a couple of them got cut. What was the process of that? How did that happen?
Well, I mean, as we were creating the script, we just all agreed on what songs needed to go, just because it has to be an hour shorter than the show on Broadway. So there's just kind of it's a no-brainer that things have got to go. And so anything that didn't really speed the plot along, and it's like a song called the Big Dollhouse, that's there to open the second act, to get the audience back up in the energy, but you don't have that need in the movie. There's no intermission. Other things were a little more heartbreaking, but we got to put like Mama, I'm a Big Girl Now is in the end credits, and we got to record it with Marissa and Ricky Lake besides Nikki, so that was really fun. So we kind of made a lemonade out of the lemon of it not being in the movie. And then we wrote one song that we wrote for the movie that ended up getting cut because it was clear that the movie needed to get its engine revving, and we'd written a ballad for Tracy, and even though Nikki sang her ass off, it was not the time in the movie to sit and have another ballad.
Well, now, is that the song that's the extra on the iTunes pre-order?
It's only iTunes pre-order, so I guess that means as of today it's not available, but I have it. And you know, if you're nice, I can spread it around.
I think you need to hit it up on our message board, send it around to people.
I already graced someone today who was very sweet, who PM'd me, and I thought, you know, well, why not?
And so now, talked about your project, because I know you're working on
Catch Me If You Can. And there's Scott.
Hi,
look,
how are you?
Broadway.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
So now you guys have been working together for a while.
Oh my.
30 years.
Since the 30s, the 1930s.
No, we've been working together for 30 years.
And so now how does the working in a duo sort of, is it easier or does it lead to some frustration sometimes? Do you going back and forth?
Well, any collaboration does, but actually that's the time we get along the best, so when we're working. So.
And are you happy with the way Hairspray turned out?
The movie? I love the movie. It's so nice to know it's not screwed up.
Was that a fear going into it?
Well, anytime you take something from one medium to one medium to another medium, it's always a dicey proposition, but I'm so proud of the movie and couldn't be more thrilled about it. So.
Oh, you can't stop today as it comes speeding down the track. Yesterday is history, and it's never coming back. 'Cause tomorrow is a brand new day, and you don't know what comes back.
The progress of Catch Me If You Can?
We start next Monday in New York. We start the workshop with Nathan Lane and a great cast, and Christian Borle and Tom Wopat, Louise Petra, and an American Idol.
Yeah,
Catherine
McPhee. They haven't announced that yet.
Yeah.
It's an exclusive.
Oh my God! Did
we just give
it?
Catherine McPhee. We have a fabulous cast.
Yeah, it's great. So we started.
I mean, today on BroadwayWorld, they were comparing people who have who have sung on demos and to people who were in and out. I finally wrote in and said, I didn't remember seeing you all guys in the audition rooms when these people were auditioning. How can you be making these comparisons? The cast is fabulous.
Well, since you mentioned the American Idol Catherine McPhee giving you a show, what do you think about this American Idol invasion on Broadway? Because there's so many.
We have a lot of them in Hairspray, but they're the right age for us. You know, they're just the right age,
and they can sing.
They can sing.
It's like I love American Idol. It's like the rebirth of showbiz, of people tuning in to hear people sing.
Right. In my youth, it would have been Hollywood Palace, so we used to watch her. You know, but like Diana DeGarmo she was a great penny on stage, and really great people.
Hey there, teenage Baltimore! Don't change that channel, because it's time for the Corny Collins Show! Brought to you by Ultra Clutch Hairspray.
Hey, I'm here with James Sims, BroadwayWorld, Vincent DePaul of Hairspray, saying rockin'.
Since you were back from the way old Hairspray, what have you sort of enjoyed about the process of to Broadway, now back to movies?
Well, originally John Waters' vision of showing that in world we have struggles, it was about integration. And that holds true in the original motion picture we shot in 1987 and the Broadway musical, Mark Shaman's vision of that. And it's also current, and these are world issues that to this day we still struggle with. And being in the original film, it was an energy that you never would imagine that people would realize this amazing independent film by Robert Shea, New Line Cinema, would be embraced by so many people around the world. To this day, I get emails from people in Italia where it's called Grasso e Bella, Fat is Beautiful. And they're like, oh my God, I love that story. It helped me. I was an overweight kid, and it helped me get through all that. And being one of the original Corny Collins dancers, I feel very honored.
So tell me, how did you get involved with Hairspray the movie?
Well, I got a call from the producers, and Craig Zaden and Neil Marin said, we want you to play Penny. And so I was so excited because I had been a big fan of the Broadway show and the original John Waters movie. So I memorized all the songs, and I went and auditioned, and next thing I know, I'm here, and I'm on BroadwayWorld.com. So before I was ever on television, I did a bunch of musicals. I was Mary in the Secret Garden. I was Amaryllis in The Music Man. I was Gretel in Sound of Music. I was Molly and Annie. So before I actually was ever on television, I was doing musicals in Thousand Oaks, California at the Civic Arts Plaza. So for me, it was actually it was such a return to my roots, and I loved being able to make a movie version of a musical. I was really blessed and grateful to be a part of it because it's so special.
Oh my God!
You know, we bring New York out here.
Wait a minute! I have all that chats after me. They're on the other. This is too exciting.
Now, do you read Broadway World?
Of course I do.
Are you on our message boards?
I'm not on them. I read them. I kind of read them, and I look for what Margot Channing has to say. My favorite correspondent, whoever you are, Margot.
Margot, whether it's a guy or a girl, they're going to love you.
I have no idea, but he, she has the historical record, and cannot be countered.
Well, so speaking of he, she, the role...
Very
segue.
Smooth. Very smooth.
The role that you did on the national... You were out here in L.A. when you did it.
I was in L.A., and I did it on Broadway for a year, where they gave me the pink shirt.
Did you try to vie to get into the movie?
Yeah, everybody wanted to get in the movie, but the thing is, there's nobody from... I think Marissa's the only one who's in the movie who's from the actual Broadway show. They were looking for other people, Ricky Lake and John Waters, obviously. So, I knew I wasn't going to certainly play Edna, And when they told me that Jerry Stiller was going to come back and play Mr. Pinky, I thought, well, that's that. There really is nothing else for me to play that I can think of.
Tell me, what's beautiful about Edna?
Well, everything is beautiful about Edna. I mean, the fact that she winds up being a person who completely accepts herself and accepts everybody else. I don't know if this remains in the movie, but I mean, Edna has a craving for chicken and waffles, and so she knows where the Ruby's Chicken and Waffles place is in the dark side of Baltimore. And, how many women who took in laundry in 1962 knew where the chicken and waffle shacks were? So Edna embraces everybody, and that's part of what makes her so wonderful. The fact that she just can't work her own self-esteem up is what the movie is about as far as she's concerned. The movie's about a lot of things.
Wait till Dad sees you.
Sees me? He never notices what I'll wear. In 20 years, he never even said to me, nice moo-moo or nothing.
What do you sort of look for in a project when you're picking a stage role, movie role, whatever it is you're doing? What do you sort of look for to grab you?
Humanity. It's either, if it's a comedy, it pricks pomposity. I love that. I love anything that has an attitude that's ironic and larger than life. But basically, the people have to make sense as people. I mean, even if they're doing the most ridiculous things. I mean, neither David Frost nor Richard Nixon is a particularly warm or endearing individual. But when you go see that play, you're fascinated by both of them, and you see you see what was underneath the surface with both of them, and that's what the theater does. It reveals that layer to you.
With Hairspray making the big screen splash. What about your project? What about the Little Green Witch?
You mean in terms of a movie?
Yeah.
Well, that day will come.
That day will come?
Yeah.
Would you, if that day did come, would you be involved adapting it?
Yeah, I will be, yeah.
Why do you think the Broadway musical coming to the big screen is sort of in a resurgence right now?
I'm just glad. I don't know why. Who knows? I'm just, thank God. It's such a relief, isn't it? To have musicals again, and maybe because we need it.
So aside from Wicked, and now that Hairspray's done it, what other musical do you think would make a good translation to the screen?
Oh, that's such a good question. Oh my goodness. You know, it's more like you got to have that exciting talent to make it happen. You know, I think it's the vision, you know, that brilliant movie Chicago. I mean, who would have thought that would have been such a brilliant movie? But Bill Condon understood what to do with it. So I think really it's not so much which musical as which exciting, thrilling director, finds the vision of how to do it.
Miss Tracy Turnblad. So, Tracy, come on, cozy up to old Corny and tell us about yourself.
Well, I watch the Corny Collins show, and I do absolutely nothing else.
Wilbur, to think that I almost stopped her from reaching for the stars.
Oh, I feel amazing. I'm so excited to be here. It's such an honor. It's so thrilling. I think the best part about this movie is that, you know, everybody is who they are, and it's about acceptance, and it's about being who you are, being proud of it, and following your dreams. And there's no greater message in this whole entire world than that.
Tell me, you guys, I know you were involved with Chicago. Yes. And now Hairspray. What is it about Broadway that sort of, do you think, adapts well to the big screen nowadays? Because it was sort of dead for a while in Hollywood.
Well, it doesn't always adapt well. I think it has to deal with the subject matter and really the property. If the property really speaks to you as a film, which Hairspray did to us and Chicago did to us, then you get involved and you try to see it through. But not everything lends itself to being translated as a film. Hairspray is a perfect example. It started off as a film, then it transitioned to Broadway, so it shared both languages. And so to turn it back into a film musical seemed the thing to do.
Well, now, did you guys make it a point, because I know when Rent came out, they did the whole original Broadway cast doing the movie. Did you purposely not cast people from Broadway in the movie?
Well, yes. I mean, to be very honest about it, like Chicago. Like, you know, when we did all the others that we've done, we always believe in reinventing for cinema. So we don't use the same designers as Broadway. We don't use the same actors. We have a completely new group of people in every department so that it's our movie and it doesn't resemble the show. We don't want to shoot the show like a Lincoln Center version of it. We want to do something brand new. And, you know, and that's what we've done on all of our musicals.
The score here maybe is John Travolta, because you guys wanted him for Chicago, and he turned you down.
Yes, he did. And then also, it took us 14 months of discussion for him to say yes to this. And at first we thought, he just doesn't want to put on the dress. And he said, there's nothing to do with it. He felt that he had to find who Edna was. He had to be sure that he could play this part and really do it well. And if he couldn't do it well, he didn't want to do it. And once he found the Baltimore accent, he thought about how the body shape should be, the whole take on the character, which is very different from the Broadway show. That was the first part of it. The other part of it was that what was hanging over his head is that 30 years ago, he did Grease and Saturday Night Fever. And he felt like if he was going to come back and do it again, he wanted it to be good and he wanted it to be right. and he wanted to be a great successor to Grease. And he felt like, okay, this is the one.
I'm James Sims for BroadwayWorld.com. We're out here in Westwood, Los Angeles, just outside of Hollywood. Hairspray, the big blockbuster on Broadway, is now going to be the blockbuster on the big screen.
Chevy